All right, well, welcome back everybody. My name's Andrew and welcome to my wood yard. So today what we're going to do is we're going to continue splitting wood. I've got a pile of it down here. I'm trying to clear out, make room to bring some new logs in that I have my eye on, and some from a tree service company. So it's time to get to splitting, fill some of these racks up. And this is my first IBC tote ever that I have set up for firewood. So we're going to mainly be filling it up today. So that's the plan: fire the log splitter up, try out the IBC totes, and start stacking them, getting firewood ready for next year. Thanks for watching. splitting my first ever IBC tote load of firewood here. And I forgot to time it, I meant to do that, but I can tell based on the amount of time here loading this, it was definitely a lot more splitting than a rack, which makes sense because everything I have read online, and I've even seen a few people load these, unload them, and measure, a tightly packed IBC tote is supposed to be about 1/3 of a cord. I measured my racks the other day, they're about 1/4 of a cord, so definitely more firewood here. Just got done talking with a subscriber when I took a little water break and was chatting with him, and I was asking y'all the other day, hey, what length should I cut my firewood? And he's like, hey, just go to the store and measure fireplaces and fire stoves around here. I really don't know where any of those stores are here in Florida, but I think I'm going to stick with 16 inches, and here's why. I like that 16 fits perfectly, a row here, and it leaves just enough to tightly pack a row in the middle to make this thing really dense, filled up, and packed. I mean, a customer should definitely be getting their money's worth here. Feel pretty confident this is 1/3 of a cord, although I may pull one out and measure myself one day. Like I said, I've seen a lot of people do it. Now, I do have one concern packing the middle so tight. Again, I want to make sure I get plenty in there for somebody. Plus, you know, I want to make sure I'm getting plenty in here for the amount of space that it takes up. Might as well pack it on there. That's one thing I do like about these. They take up not much room to get a lot of wood in them. But because I've got it packed so tight, I've already talked about my biggest concern with IBC totes is airflow and dry time. I almost wonder if I should leave the middle empty to allow more airflow through, but I am a little concerned about the wood shifting if I do that. And again, if it's a true 1/3 of a cord packed tight, I want to make sure a customer is getting a true 1/3 of a cord. So maybe y'all might have some concerns or thoughts on that on dry time. Now don't forget, in the, I believe it was the last video, I measured the moisture on this rack that I just split here, which is the same exact wood. I've got that logged down, and in about, I don't know, maybe 6-8 months or getting closer to next fall, I'll pull a piece out of the middle of this, check and see the moisture content on it, pull a piece out of the middle of that rack, check the moisture content, and see how much quicker a standing rack dries than an IBC tote. They may dry the same, but my money says that open rack right there that's catching a lot more wind is going to dry a whole lot quicker. Plus, it's a single row. These are 2 rows with the middle packed real tight, so I am concerned about airflow. But we'll see. In another year or next winter, this still may be plenty dry enough to burn. Time will tell. Now, I've got other types of wood, some less dense oak, and then obviously all this cherry that I have no concerns will dry in this in a year's time. This live oak's the densest thing that we have around here, and I'm curious if it'll still be ready to burn by next year. I may have to let these racks sit for 2 years, who knows, but we'll see how much more of this other stuff that I get. All right, well, I enjoyed that. Like I said, really convenient couple notes to take away. Concerned about dry time, time will tell. And the one thing I did notice when you first start loading this, it's a lot of bending over. I find a rack more convenient and better on my back. However, once I get a row or 2 up, it's kind of easy then to just kind of toss it in and arrange it. I love the convenience of the IBC tote. Again, I don't have to move my firewood around. It doesn't matter if they're a 1/4 mile away. I can bring one tote to where all the wood's bucked up at and load it instead of having to move 50 or 75 rounds over to where the rack is and then split to put it in it. So nothing's going to beat the convenience, I don't believe, of an IBC tote and tractor with tractor forks. And speaking of that, let's see if the old John Deere will pick this up. Everybody's telling me one of these loaded to the gills like this is 1,600 plus pounds, and being that live oak is extremely dense and this is green, I'm wondering if it's going to weigh even more. So let's see if the tractor will pick it up. All right, well, I had to play with y'all a little. Yes, the tractor could lift that perfectly fine. However, you can tell it's extremely heavy. The whole front of the tractor wanted to sit down and the back end felt pretty light. If I'm going to move these around a lot, I definitely need some ballast on the rear to take some of that load off the front axle. But I kind of figured green live oak's probably going to be the heaviest wood that I'm ever going to lift around here. Everything else just doesn't seem to be quite as dense. I'm very curious what it weighs. I wish I had a scale nearby. I had to go put it in the back of the truck and go weigh it a couple times, kind of see. All right, well, hopefully y'all enjoyed that. Coming up in the future, we're going to load some more of these IBC totes. We're eventually going to clear this area out and kind of start designating it as the area for the IBC totes. All these tanks over here we're probably going to get cleaned out. So there's going to be a lot of work that's going to go on down here in this area to kind of get the little firewood storage area set up. Still playing with a lot of ideas. Things are going to constantly change as I figure this out, but that's just the way it goes. So I think IBC totes are really going to work. I'm looking for a deal to pick a few more up. Every now and then I'll catch them on Facebook for like 30 bucks, which is kind of the deal I'm looking for. Other times I see them for 60, all the way up to $125. I mean, I'm not paying that. It'd take me forever just to get my money back. So I'll keep looking for those deals. There's plenty of them out there. Now that I know that I want quite a few more, I'll probably go get another 10 or 15. And one thing I got to thinking about that I'm really going to like about these IBC totes, whenever we're burning up there at the house or at the fire pit, I can just come down here with the tractor, pick one up, carry it there for the night while we're entertaining. We can pick straight out of it. I can leave it there for days until we burn out of it and carry it back. So now I'm starting to wonder if the racks over here, I'm going to leave more for a customer that wants to come, will toss, loosely toss in the back of their truck, wants to buy a truck bed load, because it'll be easier to toss out of the racks than it will out of these IBC totes. I'm starting to think these are going to be the ticket for me. Just go up there and put it right by the fire pit. When I'm done with it, bring it right back with the tractor. So convenience, these definitely have my vote for convenience. So thank y'all so much for watching. We'll catch you on the next video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.